Hi, this is Joel Hendershot with Scott Timke here for the ISSA Strength and Conditioning Coach final exam, Section 4. Scott here is a cyclist and rock climber moving into about 40K crit races. He's going to be doing 2 a week for the next little while. He's about 2 weeks out from his competition. So what we're going to be doing here is normally we're wrapping up our strength and power part of our training, moving specifically towards the races. So we're actually in a taper at this point, but we're going to be focusing on a couple of different things in this workout. The main thing is lower body power, getting more power from the position of power in the pedal stroke. We're also going to be working on some mobility issues that we have. Scott doesn't have any injuries, but he does have mobility issues. So we're going to be from his job as well as being on the bike. So we're going to be working on a lot of those, as well as some muscular imbalances, both front and back, because cyclists have a lot of times overdeveloped quads, underdeveloped glutes and hamstrings, as well as left and right side imbalances. The main goals we have for Scott are to increase wattage and at a normal tempo, as well as in sprints at roughly 5 to 10 seconds of very high intensity wattage output. We also want to increase that quite a bit as well. So we're going to start by doing a little bit of stretching to get that mobility. We're going to do some time on the cycling, some interval training on the cycle, as well as some explosive lower body stuff, and we'll get to that here in just a minute. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to begin by a quad stretch. Basically, it's just like you're doing there, except for you're just going to reach back and grab your back leg, pull it up nice and high. Good. And obviously, the straighter your back is and the more tilted forward you are, the greater the stretch is going to be on the quad. And you're going to hold that for about 20 seconds. And then switch to the other leg. We're going to do a seated stretch. What you're going to do is you're going to pick your leg up, go across, and get it solid and locked in here, and then lean forward. If you want to get a deeper stretch, tilt your pelvis forward, and then straighten your back, and then lean forward, and you're going to feel the stretch in your glutes back here. You're going to do about 30 seconds each side. Here, nice and close. Lean forward, and again, tilt the pelvis, straighten the back, and then lean forward, and that's going to give you a deep stretch right across the How was it? You can also push that knee down, knee up. Sorry? If you could. Yeah, that's alright. So we figured out a position of weakness and a tight position there. Good job. Now, one thing that this can be caused by is the fact that you have overdeveloped quads, underdeveloped glutes and hamstrings. It's going to pull you into that position, make it harder for your glutes to stretch. This is called reverse belly pose. So you're going to put your arms out, have your knees up and high, rotate to the side, let it fall. It's going to be stretching all the way in here. For about 10 seconds. Back to center, rotate out. That's really tight for me. Back to center. We're going to do that 10 seconds each way and do it 3 times. So you're going to get back straight, chest nice and high, hips neutral. You're going to kick one leg out. So the dog feet on a fire entry, out, and then back and around. Back and around. You can do that 10 times with each leg. You can do the same thing but go the other way. So up, and around and back. You can do that 10 times forward, 10 times backwards with each leg. spine fairly neutral and flat as we can. Nice and high on that count. And if you can kick that knee back a little bit farther, there you go. That's it. Try to get a little bit higher when you come around there, just like that. So the reason we're doing those is basically because in that riding position, you're normally pulled in tight, which is going to tighten all these up from being there. So that's kind of why we're doing kind of those movements. Now this one's really simple. So it's called a cat back. What you're going to do is you're going to stretch up and then down, stomach, rotate the pelvis, press the stomach down and extend the head and the neck. And then back up, hold it for a couple seconds, and then come back in. Send that back up. Let's see, got into it with the pelvis good. Hold that just a little bit, a couple seconds. Good. Okay, so we're going to get started here with warm-up. So obviously, since we're cycling, we're going to have sport-specific stuff, especially this close to the race. This close to the race day, so we're going to get started with about a 5-minute, really low-intensity warm-up. So a typical tempo with low resistance, somewhere around about 30% or so work capacity. And at the 5-minute mark, we're going to then go into intervals. So we're going to do 10 seconds of very high intensity, close to 80-90% of work capacity, and then dial it back down to about 50%, somewhere that you can keep during a normal race. And we're going to do that for 30 seconds. So 10 seconds on high intensity, 30 seconds on medium intensity. 30 seconds? Yeah. 30 seconds and you'll do 10 seconds of very high output, and then dial it back down to this. So we are 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And down. Okay, so again, what we're trying to do is increase maximum power output. And so what we're going to do is wherever your hip would normally be, so when you're on a bike, because you're leaned over, your hip extension is fairly high on the pedal stroke. So you could do box jumps with a short stroke and jump, but because we're trying to increase power output at the top of the pedal rotation, we're going to drop down and then, I guess I'll do it real quick. Just against the wall. So again, you could drop down a little bit. You can drop nice and low, jump up, stand, and then step down. You could do rebounding, but because we're so close, we don't want you to like blow out an Achilles or fresh fracture a foot, or, your foot at this point. So nice and low, up, nice and low, up, low, up. We're gonna do 5 sets of 8, and then we're gonna do that 5 sets of 8. Well, about a minute rest in between, and then we'll keep moving with those seconds. Nice and low. And one thing that you can also do on these, basically to stimulate, because we want, obviously the power is in the bottom, but because you're clipped in, you want to be actively pulling as well, pulling up. So when we go down, hold the legs up at the same time. So when you jump, actively pull the legs up and get them nice and high. That will get you typically a higher box jump, but as well as it's going to simulate that kind of explosion down, actively pulling back up with the legs. There you go. Good. We can go several pins higher if we get that up. So be careful landing on the edge. You don't want to accidentally miss and take your shin out. Good. Okay, so we're going to be doing low bar, wide stance squats, and we're going to be balancing out, as we talked about at the beginning, balancing out front and back. So we have strong quads, but now we need to also make sure we have strong glutes and hamstrings as well. So we're going to get nice and low on the back. This is going to be about 60%, nice and fast. So low on the back, a wide stance, knees, toes out, knees over the toes, down, up fast, down, up fast. Good. Low on the shoulders. Knees out and knees over the toes, down to depth and up fast. Good. Nice. I'm gonna do it. Okay, so we're doing seated cable rows mainly to work on the back. So a lot of times people are doing really heavy weights with this, and we're not going to be doing that at all. We're going to be doing 2 sets of 12. And what I want you to do when you get started here is to get a very solid low back. Pull in, hold for about 2 seconds, and then slow out. Get 2 up, hold for 2, out for 2. And this is and it is working our upper back, which is to get you in a good position on the bike, but also to keep that low back, the core and the lower back nice and strong to be able to hold that position for okay, so try and get that nice good arch in the back. Hold for 2, down for 2. Hold for 2, down for 2. Bulgarian split squat is specifically to overcome any single-sided, like if you have a weak left or weak right side. So if you have one that's stronger than the other, it's going to be doing more work, which is going to fatigue it more. So we're going to be doing these. You can use weights or not, depending on how you're feeling. At this point in the workout, I feel the weights actually help you balance. What you're going to do is you're going to get one foot up on the bench, nice in front of you, and squat down. Again, for muscular imbalances, we're going to try and build the hamstrings up so we get a full, powerful rotation on the pedal. So we're going to get on the leg curl machine, get it down low so it's on here. And then you're going to squeeze down, hold for 2 or 3 seconds, and then back up. Squeeze down, 1, 2, 3, up. So come down to the bottom, squeeze and hold, 1, 2. Squeeze and hold, 1, 2. Good. Squeeze and hold, 1, 2. Set of 12. 1, 1, 2. 1, 2, good. Okay, so what we're going to be doing, we're going to be just foam rolling out the foam roll the quads, the inside of the leg, kind of the groin muscle, that's going to be tight for us, the IT band, and the piriformis, the glute piriformis. So we're going to start by laying on top of the foam roller, go from nice and high up on the hip, all the way down to the bottom of the quad. Back up. If you find a spot like that here, pretty painful, then you can roll here. About 30 seconds and once on the quad, and then if you get here, hold it for about 5 seconds on that, and then roll it out farther. And that would get us up to. Hold it up on the quad. We're going to roll the groin. So start down here and then roll out. And just let that open up your hips. We're going to get in here, it'll probably be really tight, really painful, so we're going to get nice and deep in the adductors right here. Promote the IT band, keep 1 foot down. 1 foot out, point. You can point the toes, and then roll across. Just get all along the IT band for about 30 seconds. Again, each leg. And then we're going to get our glute piriformis. So to get to the piriformis, open that up. You want to put your knee here at about 45 degree angle. Pull your foot up onto your knee, and that's going to open up that glute, spread that glute out, so you're going to be able to hit that piriformis muscle. And you can rotate to the side, get a little deeper. And then we're going to roll out the hamstrings and stuff. So 1 leg down, out, try to target that, the back of the leg.